People pick and choose who they love. People pick and choose who they throw shade at. That's why I do what I want. Spending all your time won't never get it back. Time is money, don't be wasting my cash. Give it back, give it back, get it back. Hey, time is money, don't be wasting my stacks. Spending all your time won't never get it back.
What up, and welcome to the very 17th episode of the Pick Route. We are your hosts. My name is Patty.
What up, Danks here. And
that's it. Kui and Moose are supposed to be on. Technical issues and some other stuff going on with them. And figures we're recording on, we record Sunday nights, and it's Father's Day. The two fathers of the group can't get on in the one day that's supposed to be their day and do whatever they want. They can't figure it out. But let us be the last to wish all the fathers out there a very happy Father's Day. What do you want to talk?
The audience is in for a treat. They're about to get a little P&D in their mouth. A little
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. One day we'll release that logo, which is the greatest logo in the history of logos. little P&D in your ears.
Yeah.
So, the one thing that Dank and myself have in common, I think we talked about it a couple times now, is that we're both fans of the 2022 NBA champion Golden State Warriors.
That's right. 4 times, baby.
That's 4, Dank.
Since we've been fans, it's 4 times.
It's unreal. And this was kind of like the most satisfying one, too.
I agree with that. After all the shit talk that, we don't have it anymore. And,
right.
We still have Steph. So as long as we have that guy.
Exactly.
And we talked about it before. when we got Kevin, it was awesome to have Durant. But you knew the face of the franchise was Steph. You know? And, should never get rid of him.
No. Yeah, and that's what KD kind of realized too, is that I'm going to get the championships and stuff like that, but it'll never be my team here.
Right.
It's going to be Steph, and the way that they've gone and changed the game, and this core group of guys that have been around, and you're a couple injuries away from this being one of, if not the greatest dynasties in NBA history.
Yep.
You got Steph, and then Clay coming back off the double injuries was just awesome. And you could tell he wasn't Clay.
Right.
He's still a very serviceable starting 2 guard in the NBA, but
Absolutely.
he's not that elite Clay. And it was the thing that me and you always talked about when watching him, was everyone wants to talk about the Splash Brothers, and obviously he's one of the greatest shooters of all time. But that wasn't the thing that Clay brought to the team the most.
Absolutely not. He was the best defender.
100%. And we were yelling
in the NBA.
The year Draymond won Defensive Player of the Year. We're like, oh, that's awesome, but he's not even the best defensive player on our team.
Right.
You watch Clay, and Clay was always the one charged with shutting down their guy.
Right.
Think of all those series with Houston, when Houston was making their runs. Steph Curry wasn't guarding James Harden.
No.
It was Clay. So you could tell, he's still a step short. But what was cool was it looked like Steph realized that and stepped his defense up.
He did.
He
still struggles against, the guys, but
right.
He tries.
he had a couple pokes.
Yeah.
He was able to poke the ball out a couple times, and I still he got a lot of shit this series, but I love Draymond so much.
Oh, absolutely.
The
rest of, if you're not a Warriors fan, everybody hates him.
Oh, I would hate him if he wasn't on the Warriors.
But you need that guy.
Mm-hmm.
You need someone for them to freaking hate.
Yeah, he's he's the one who like bring it down in the mud, and he's our Dennis Rodman, where he's gonna start some shit. Sometimes you're like, Draymond, shut up, we kind of need you out here, bud.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes I think he takes it too far. Even you can watch Kerr on the sideline sometimes.
I know.
Dude, calm down.
I know.
And Draymond just like, no, I know what I'm doing. What the hell, dude?
Obviously another big series from some of our young guys or new guys with Wiggins and Poole, who both come out and said that they want to stay with the Warriors, and you can't really blame them for that. Hopefully they're taking team friendly because, like you said, it's this core 3 group of guys that they're going to do whatever it takes to keep them. And I remember there was a rumor, it was a couple years ago, and it was trading Klay Thompson. Do you remember this one? Who they were looking to trade him for?
Yeah. Who are they going to get? I forgot who the talk was for.
It was like right after KD. The talk was for this guy out in Milwaukee named Giannis.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was the talk, and I'm like, we were both like, no, we want Klay. I was like, oh, Giannis would be pretty cool, too.
Giannis would be cool, but he's no Klay.
Right.
I mean, for us, yeah, I mean, and you even look at when we got Boogie.
Oh, my God.
When we got Boogie Cousins, I thought we were going to freak
Oh, my God.
lights out, but.
Right.
And he actually did have a decent year this year, too.
Right. Yeah, and the other dude that was awesome to have back, and you just saw the impact he had was Iggy.
Yeah.
Just fun seeing him out there, and, they were able to put him out at the end, but, like.
It sucks he didn't play more because
I know.
Didn't get to do a little na-na.
Getting Iggy with it.
Getting Iggy with it. Which is still one of my favorites.
It's so good. Yeah, so we have a bunch of sayings, and we do it a lot with football that we'll have to put on like T-shirts or something. But we have a ton of them with the Warriors too. Not get Iggy with it was very good. Clay.
Hashtag Draymond.
Draymond, which doesn't happen anymore. Whenever Draymond hit a 3.
There's another one. Oh, we used to do who was it? Harrison
Come on,
Barnes.
there you go. Yeah. Anytime Harrison Barnes would make a play, we go, woo! There's been a Harrison Barnes sighting because we were known Harrison Barnes haters.
I remember Big Toe to be like, "Oh, Harrison Barnes pretty good." I'm like,
I know, no, that dude stinks.
He's terrible,
and he's bad at basketball.
He actually, I'm pretty sure he cost us that one against Cleveland.
I know.
The second year we went.
The 3-1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That one still stings.
Yeah. And Draymond was suspended that game, so.
The guy that made a comeback, he got hurt in the playoffs, but I think he would have been a huge difference maker too. I mean, we still won, but Gary Payton.
Yeah. Yep.
Like he's on his way to becoming, a great defensive player.
Agreed. That's what, that's kind of what the Warriors have become is they have their big 3, and then we're going to surround them with these role players, and your job is to try really, really hard.
Right.
Like, we don't need you dropping 50. Like, we got a guy for that. And if he's not out, we got another guy for that. Mm-hmm. But go out, you have to play good defense, take open shots, but, when 30 or 11 is calling for the ball, find them.
Get him the ball, yeah.
I think Klay Thompson has to be in NBA history. I'm sure some nerd has figured out these numbers, but points per dribble, like I think Klay has to be number 1. Probably. Like he because we always say when Steph is off the court, we would rather have Draymond take the ball up the court than Klay.
Absolutely.
I get nervous when Klay's taking the ball up the court. We don't like him doing that. Yeah. Who is the other guy we didn't like on the Warriors? Zaza Pachulia.
He played a major role though.
Yes, he did. He did.
Major role.
Knocking out the only team that could beat the Warriors that year was Kawhi Leonard.
That was the only team that could beat him.
The only team.
And then freaking what was it? 2
and
years or a year later, and he did beat us with the Raptors.
I know that one.
That's a guy that shockingly has just fallen off the face of the earth, dude.
Really can't see him. Quee says he's restarting again, but who needs him? Right. Yeah, you haven't really heard. I mean, you looked at him and he was like the best player in basketball.
Dude, unbelievable.
Like, he was phenomenal. And I was thinking about that the other day too. Because, it's probably the sport that gets most debated is like who's the best player of all time. But it's like you have to be a power forward or a two guard to be considered like the greatest player of all time.
Right.
Like Steph can't be in that conversation.
I mean, I think Steph has been making a very good
argument. My God.
Very good
God. I hate the go ahead.
With it was for Kobe, and the amount of times he's dropped, it was 40, 50, and 60.
I saw that too. Yeah, it's crazy.
And he crushes like everybody combined.
Right.
Like he's got more 30-point games than Steph and LeBron.
Combined.
He's got more 40-point games than LeBron.
Saw that.
I think Larry Bird.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts what he's done. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Or what he did. But also, like, I was watching the other day the 30 for 30 of I think it's called This Magic Moment, the one about the Orlando Magic teams with Penny and Shaq.
Shaq, yeah.
And just how good and dominant Shaq was for so long. Like, he was unstoppable.
Dude, it's nuts how, like, literally we changed the game because that's what basketball was.
Like, I know.
Big man.
Right.
Fed him the ball. And, he was able to take over games and just.
Right. Well, that's what Moose would say too, is like the Warriors played like we were told not to play.
All right.
Like jacking up threes. No, get the ball down to your big man. Did you watch Winning Time on HBO Max?
No, not yet.
Dude, it's sick. It's sick. John C. Reilly's in it. But it's about the Showtime Lakers. Yeah. And kind of talking about exactly that of like with Magic Johnson coming in, and Magic was like 6'9". They're like, he's got to play the post. Like, no, he doesn't. And you don't have to run it through the post. Like,
correct.
Run the fucking court. Get spacing. It was funny. My fiance is a softball coach, and she's a sports person. And my she's played basketball. She's played everything. And my older brother,
chess.
Yeah, sure. No, you said everything. But my older brother and his wife are both like writers, and they're into video games and that deal. And they came up and they were like, "We want to play you guys in NBA Jam." So that 2-on-2 old arcade basketball game.
Yep.
They're like, all right. They're like, well, we're pretty good. We've been practicing. And we're like, okay. So we're playing them, and all we're doing is running the court with spacing. Just space out and pass the ball back and forth. And both of them kept chasing the ball and, like, running with it. Wow. It was layup lines. Like, we just, like, we were trying, like, me and my fiance were trying to get more assists than points. Right. Like, where it's like, we could get more assists. But seriously, just, I take the right, you take the left. We'll run the floor with spacing, and this is going to be easy. It's like a shot goes up, one of us crashed the boards, the other one took off, pass, layup. Like, it was awesome.
Yep.
What
else was I going to say? I was going to say something else.
Steve Kerr, 9th ring.
9th ring for Steve Kerr. I do feel bad for Mark Jackson. He's got a freaking.
It's so dirty. It's so dirty. It's so bad because he's the one that put the three together. Yeah.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Mark Jackson was the coach before Steve Kerr, and Steve Kerr's first year at coaching, they won the championship.
Yep. That just shows how bad Mark Jackson was. I think he's a good announcer, but it's so dirty having him call those games.
I was a little disappointed they didn't put Reggie. Like I do. When
I know
the West ones, and Reggie was doing it.
Yep.
I think Reggie's good at what he does too.
Yeah. Well, dude, and just speaking of Reggie, have you seen and this is what I was going back to it with Steph, was like everyone always says like, oh yeah, but if he was playing in like the 90s, like he wouldn't be as. I'm like, since when does being the greatest shooter of all time?
Right.
When was shooting not important in basketball?
Right.
But you see like the numbers of Steph Curry, and then like compared to like Reggie Miller and Ray Allen, it's like a joke.
Right.
Like how much higher he's. There was a stat that came out where it was most. I think it was finals games where a player hit 6 or more threes in a game. Steph is number 1 with 12.
Mm-hmm.
Clay is number 2 with 4. And then everyone else is like 2 or 3. Like, it's like insane. Oh, hi, Moose.
He was there. Where'd he go?
What's up, babe?
I got him. Good. We're just gushing about the 2022 NBA champion Golden State Warriors.
Pretty good.
Good at basketball, confirmed.
They're good.
How was your first official Father's Day there, Moose?
Pretty good.
Good. What's your kid get you?
Got me a knife.
Attaboy. That kid have a job yet? Jesus.
Yes. He ready to move out yet?
One of those like crazy.
He's just
crazy Japanese knife things.
Oh. Cool. I'll let you get settled here. As we also welcome on a guy who's battled 8 rounds with his computer tonight. What's going on, Quee? Oh, sounds like he's gonna have to go 9.
All right, I think
Quee, you got us? Can you want to talk? You want to say anything, or you just want to sit this one out? Okay, cool. He's just like, keep going. Well, happy Father's Day to you, Quee.
Yep.
How was your first official Father's Day, buddy?
Shitty.
Oh, he gave us the thumbs up. I think you're okay. All right. But Moose, what do you got for the pregame? You got anything? Now that you're settled in, anything you want to talk about? Oh, Quee's gone.
Pre-game. All right. So let me think.
What a disaster.
I'm gonna immediately fall back on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna say that
we need like a segment alert.
Yeah. Hot take, and one that has been brewing for me for a while, is Dak Prescott will not be the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys in 2023.
2020. So this is last year?
Yep.
What if he wins a championship?
So you put me on the spot, and
that's what you're going with.
And I'm going to go with, I don't think I don't think that Dak Prescott can't do it. But I think that they've already set him up, And unlike Buffalo and Josh Allen, where they've done every single thing possible to try to make him successful, Jerry Jones has done every single thing possible to make Dak Prescott a worse football player this offseason. At no, like Zeke Elliott, to me, I'm a Zeke guy. I believe when they drafted him, it was the right move over Jalen Ramsey. I really do. Because I think hindsight is 2020, where people always say, would you rather have Jalen Ramsey or Zeke Elliott right now?
Right. Well, we get it in Buffalo, too, with they took Tre'Davious White ahead of Patrick Mahomes. It's like, well, now we got Tre'Davious White and Josh Allen, so, right. Suck it.
And, I think that, a lot of people don't remember how good Zeke was those first 3 years in Dallas, and he brought him to the playoffs twice. Now, they failed not because of him in the playoffs. They failed because the rest of their team or their coaching specifically, both playoff runs. But going back to my original point, I could see Dak Prescott playing somewhere else in 2023 because Dallas might actually make that move where they're like, if this season doesn't go well, they could move on from a lot of guys because they're already rebuilding their team. You guys obviously don't follow Dallas the way that I do, but I really like the infrastructure of a rebuild that they have going on. They just don't have guys they're not going to compete this year. They're going to get beat. They're going to go 1-for-1 with Philly, and Philly is going to take the division, and Dallas is going to have to take a wild card, and they're going to get bounced again. It's just the way it is.
So, their play calling is atrocious.
I think Dak Prescott is a really good football player. If you can't objectively look at Dak Prescott and say, this kid is really good, he's a good football player, you're a bad football coach. That's just the bottom line. No, is he, and I know we've had this discussion, but okay, is he Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers? No, he's not.
But there's only 3 of those guys, so not everyone's gonna have one.
You know what I'm saying?
There's actually 2 Josh Allens in the league, so I could disagree with
you.
True.
And honestly, the Kellen Moore situation is going to be the downfall of the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott.
It is crazy.
Take the wrath of Kellen Moore's lack of knowledge, and it's going to burn down.
It's crazy how uncreative Kellen Moore is. You look at him, and he's a guy that we vividly remember playing college football at Boise State, which has been a creative offense the entire time. They've been able to do stuff, and you have all these guys, and you're just watching them. It's like, if CD isn't breaking a shallow, what are they doing?
And I actually don't know how much I believe what I say is a hot take, but it's been something that's been on my mind.
Oh my God. You bastardize the game every time.
And I can see them because they're rolling over $23 million in cap space this season. They're not going to spend it. And they're going to get Zeke off their books next year. So
the thing is, though, who are they going to replace him with? And looking at this class is getting a lot of hype, but there's really only 2 guys who have proven anything, and Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. All these other guys are kind of maybe Will Levis, maybe Richardson at Florida. It's not this isn't the what year was 2017 with those guys, where you're getting 5 like legit starters like right away. I don't think it's going to be that. I think these two are really, really good. This reminds me more of the and jury's still out, but this reminds me of like going into it of a Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. Like you have these two, and maybe a Mac Jones pops up, but and Dallas isn't going to be picking in the top 2.
No,
their roster's too good. I saw a side eye from Deg there, but I'm telling you.
My question is, how does a team make a wild card at 5-12? That blows my mind.
See, that's you being an ignorant fan.
Chase said that freaking Dallas is going to end up in a wild card spot. I'm like, how? When you go 5-12, how do you make a freaking wild card?
Who said they're going 5-12? Did he say that?
I am.
Okay. Quit you on yet? You're just listening, pal.
No, I'm alive.
Hey, there he is. How was your first Father's Day, buddy?
It was fantastic.
What'd your kid get you?
Oh, I got all kinds of
goodies.
Spoon. Although my thumbs up before, I felt like the thumbs up on the stretcher going out of the screen. I didn't think I was.
That's what it looked like, pal. That's what it looked like.
Holy shit!
You got anything for the pregame?
Yeah, I have I had a couple things.
Ooh.
I don't know, but now that we're on episode 34, by the time I logged in here, I don't talk about much.
Let her rip, buddy.
All right, so I had 2 heaters.
Ooh,
that I wanted to go into. Yeah. Well, the first one, we just saw the NBA Finals close out.
Me and Deg talked about that for the first 20 minutes. So
yep,
all right.
we love it though.
But what's the heater? Yeah, if you got a heater out of it, yeah.
The best playoff run we've ever seen is a team that didn't have Steph Curry or LeBron James.
And what would that be?
And I'll give you my argument. The 2011 Dallas Mavericks swept Kobe in the second round, then went to OKC, gave him a gentleman's sweep when OKC had KD, Russell, and Harden. And then went to Miami and beat the big 3 in 6.
It's pretty. I mean, yeah, when you put it,
and that roster wasn't even that great.
Right. So, best run, yes. I thought you were kind of flirting with because the 2017 Warriors, I think, are the best team we've ever seen. They lost 1 playoff game. They swept everybody until Cleveland. They gave Cleveland 1 game. But yeah, no, in terms when you lay it out like that, that's a hell of a fucking run.
Yeah, I was looking at that. So I saw a stat on it, and I had to double back because I was like, no way. I'm like, I'm missing something. I could have swore the OKC series went longer. I remember the closing out Miami because we were actually together. We were at a bar in Wallingford that day.
Yep.
But that run in general,
it's crazy.
That's like murderer's row.
Sure.
At that time,
For real.
So that was my first one. My second one is that Derek Carr is going to win MVP.
Whoa.
That is
fire. Devontae's that good, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and here's my reasoning for it is
he's not even the best receiver on the team.
True.
But when you play, first of all, what the AFC looks like now is going to be really hard to not have anyone in the AFC win the MVP in general. And then you look at the AFC West in general, just as a whole, their value in the running, if you are in the wheelhouse of making, the conversation, is going to hold so much more value. So like even if they lose the division, they get in and they win a couple games, right? Like, they make that call like at the end of the regular season, but I think they've got everything going in the right direction to get it done, to make all arguments across the board.
But I think in terms of MVP, like the AFC and specifically the West might cannibalize themselves out of it.
Right.
Like those dudes might knock each other out. Like Derek Carr at, 10-7 or 11-6 isn't going to win the MVP.
No, I agree with that. I don't think he can win it unless they win 12 games.
Right. So I guess if you want to put it this way, if the Raiders are the number 1 seed, they definitely earned it, and then Derek Carr is the MVP. So I could see that being set up like that, but that's a scorcher. I might have to take my sweatshirt off for that one, buddy.
That's what I'm. That's my my second heater. You can sit on that one.
Wow.
And I'm just gonna finish up with a quick question for you guys. I want to hear your take. What is the least? What position in high school sports right now, or in high school football? What position do you think is being coached the least?
Coached the least.
And what I mean, like, because I'm coaching a position that we did a long time ago, right? And now I'm back in it. I put a lot of time into really studying some quality coaches. Not that Tony's system was bad, but understanding the level of detail in the wideouts,
right,
from legitimate coaching,
yep,
is wild, because it's completely unseen in high school unless you have a guy that's in the NFL, Patty, or played there, right? Like, it's really hard to find the right material because we're in this world where, everyone is an Instagram coach or everyone is a 7-on-7 coach, and it's easy to get misled with nonsense stuff that's just not practical for kids.
I think in terms,
I'm curious what you think.
Yeah, it's like, to me, looking through it, it's really because we don't have the resources to pay a lot of really good coaches, and there's not a whole lot of guys who are really good that are like free agent coaches. Like, you're not going to find a whole lot of guys out there. You got to get guys and develop them. And just in terms of staff building, kind of where you put the guy that kind of needs the most would be running back, and I've had a lot of success running the football. Like, our teams have had a lot of success running the football, but how much is that guy actually really getting coached besides him being really good? So I think in terms of us just not having the resources to really do, because you have to have, like, your O-line coach has to be a stud. Your quarterback coach has to be a stud. Receivers coach has to be really good. Yeah, and then, like, if you have tight ends, that's another guy who, because, when you really come down to it, running backs, they're with the O-line or they're with the quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like that guy's by himself a lot, but that would be my pick. Would be running back is probably getting the least coached.
I agree offensively, but defensively, I think, DBs, I think, because how many different coverages do you run? And, you put that fast kid out there that can, hang with the receivers at corner, and, how much does that guy really get coached on?
Then when I look at it, right.
Cover the
third. But, like, your DB's coach is a, like, de facto coordinator. Like, they have to be treated that way, where it's like, you have to have all of their route combinations and how we're going to cover it in all of our cover. Like, DB's coaches put in if they're not the defensive coordinator already, they're preparing like a defensive coordinator anyways, getting ready for everything that those guys do.
But as far as coaching the kids, I mean,
our DB's coach is really good. Yeah, but yes, but it's not.
Yes,
it's not. It's not like Madden bubbles, like deep third. Right. Just get into the deep third and stand there. Whoever comes, you come there. Like
right.
No,
you got to get your eyes in the right spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you're getting 4 hitches, I don't want you just bailing to the third. Like,
right.
get yourself in the mix, homie. Like, get downhill. So, defensively, I would say, I was a D-line coach for a long time. There was a lot of technique. I would say interior defensive linemen are probably getting the least coached because you are doing a lot of stuff with the edge guys. And I knew as the only, again, in high school, you only have a certain number of coaches where you have to do things to set the edge. You have to close trap. You have to hit these pass rush moves. You don't have a ton of time to work the things, especially in an odd front. We're going to split the double and we're going to do that stuff, but like you just don't have a ton of time to teach interior D linemen all the stuff they really need to know.
Moose, what are your thoughts?
Yeah,
because this is pegging off a conversation we had a little bit.
I think the easy question and the easy answer is running backs, but I think any of us that have called an offense, we've been able to survive with our offenses having a running backs coach that could just kind of service the offense rather than add to it. But thinking about kind of your heavy hitters of what you want on your defense, I think that your edge defenders, your outside linebackers, your role safeties are really is really a group that doesn't get the attention it needs.
Agreed.
In high school football, if you're a 3-4 front, you're not a 3-4 front like a NFL team where your edge outside backer is actually in reality just a 4th defensive lineman that once in a while drops to the flat or drops to the hook. If you're talking about high school offensive, high school defenses and high school outside linebackers, I think that is probably a position I would say is one of the less coached units. I think corners get a lot of attention because that's an easy spot for guys to kind of hide behind, in terms of what they know and how it can kind of like cover 2 corner, cover 3 corner, man, like it kind of it just keeps going throughout the years, like it technique is technique. But if you're talking about your outside backers that are involved in blitzing, like especially in blitzing, man, like even in coaching some of the all-star games that we've had in the years past around here in our area, I never thought that the outside linebackers got coached up to really be a hybrid player where they're blitzing, where they're dropping, where they're playing in space as a force player and stuff like that. So I would say it's a position that is addressed on coaching staffs, but maybe not as much as we want it to be.
Right. Yeah, and like I feel like that position of what you're saying of that edge who is typically, if you're good, one of your best players anyways. So it's kind of like if you can't do it, I'm going to find somebody else. And that's not great coaching. Like it's just not like we'll figure something else to do it there. The real answer to what position is coached the least is whatever Dank is coaching.
Yeah.
Whatever position Dank has, that's the least coached position on the field. We ready to get in the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, all right. Today's game is
who is your daddy and what does he do?
Play a little Who's Your Daddy on Father's Day today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go around and it's who's daddy in the football world of who owns who in football, and it could be past, it could be present, it could be kind of anything. We kind of left a little open-ended in our group chat today because we're getting lazy with when we're deciding this stuff. This is getting closer and closer to showtime. One day we're just like, all right, we're just not going to do it. But Dank, you want to start?
Sure. So the first one that came to my mind was when was it Seattle played the 49ers. I believe it was in the conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
And Richard Sherman went off about Michael Crabtree because he didn't shake his hand.
Mm-hmm.
But when you watched it, I mean, Richard Sherman back then just locked Michael Crabtree down.
Dude.
And that's what happens when you put a sorry ass receiver like Crabtree against Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
But I think Richard Sherman is the father of Michael Crabtree.
I just have to do it. Did he? Was it him? No, somebody. Who snatched the chain? Was that Aqib Talib?
That was Aqib Talib.
But it was Michael Crabtree. Okay, yeah. Okay, all right, good. Talib. I knew there was someone in that had to go. Quay, who do you got?
So when I was first putting like these lists and stuff together, I went outside of just players. Like I was thinking like coaches and teams and everything.
Yeah, I got some of those.
The most obvious one I think is Andy Reid. You know, Andy Reid to me is daddy of the AFC West and the AFC in general. I think for right now, like when you talk about the AFC West, I mean, no one's even sniffed like an opportunity to make a move there. I think this year will be obviously different because of the way teams like reloaded and are starting to figure out like kind of how to attack this and keep up with the pace and seeing what Buffalo does. But like,
it's funny. It's like the Chiefs got worse this offseason, but they're still probably the best team in the AFC.
Yeah, it's super annoying, you know? So that I think is the most obvious one for sure. Someone's got to take daddy out.
Moose?
As much as I hate it, I'm going to say it. Aaron Rodgers owns the Dallas Cowboys.
You could have said Chicago because he was yelling that too.
No.
I own you.
Yeah.
As the
I guess it's just that household. Aaron Rodgers owns that household.
Right.
Poor Ford.
As the standard of the Dallas Cowboys on this podcast, I can't let the two best Cowboys teams of the last 25 years go by without recognizing that Aaron Rodgers has ruined my life on both of those times. When the Green Bay Packers had no reason to win those games, and it was singly, I don't even know.
Single-handedly, yeah.
Single-handedly. It was just Aaron. I hate him.
Yep. Mine, to me, is the most obvious one. Urban Meyer on Jim Harbaugh. So I had to. So Urban went 4-0 against Harbaugh. The score differential was 165-99 in those 4 games. And you look at the most lopsided game in that between those two, it was Ohio State. The game Ohio State just demolished them, and Michigan scored like 3 like garbage touchdowns against our JV squad. So it's really like 100-point differential between Urban and Jim Harbaugh there. So that run was awesome. It was so cool, and watching Harbaugh cry, and we can't wait to do it again this year. But yeah, Urban Meyer, Jim Harbaugh's dad, and they were born like a week apart in the same hospital. Fun fact. Dank, what else you got?
So my other one, I know Kirby just did it this past year with a very good.
I have this
team.
one too.
But Nick Saban on pretty much anybody that's coached for him.
I have that one too.
I mean, he owns the whole college football for the most part, but those people in general. I think I saw a stat a while ago, but not many people, and like those are the best coaches in college football for the most part, are the ones that have come from under Nick Saban, and Nick Saban just owns them. I think Kirby's the one that has something to say the most out of any of them.
Do you know what the record is?
I do not know what the record is, but I know it's pretty good.
26-2.
Damn.
26-2. He didn't lose one until this year, and he lost twice. He lost to Jimbo and Kirby.
Yep.
I gotta make me a drink. So, Quee, go ahead on your next one. If he stops, just go ahead. Moose.
So the next one is kind of piggybacking off of you a little bit, Dank, but for a different reason. So I'm gonna take Belichick as daddy, but on his staff right now, and here's why: when you let your OC go to become a head coach, and you just don't fill it because you have no trust or faith in anyone to call your offense. So you just bring in a bunch of assistants that are going to do whatever you ask them to do, that have no capability of calling plays on Sunday, is like the ultimate sign of Belichick is the dad. Everyone else is falling in line like little children. And you see it like later on. I mean, McDaniels is going to play Belichick on Sunday Night Football in Vegas, which is going to be an awesome game. But for the same reasons that you said too, like he's dominated all of his previous coaches that attempt to do anything. But like just looking at his staff, like can you imagine in the National Football League not replacing your offensive coordinator and just saying, I'll do both? Like that to me is just wild.
I mean, it's a system. It's the system,
Do you agree with that, or am I just?
No, I agree with that. Do you have a take?
Moose, what do you got?
I mean, I think does Belichick have a system on offense?
We're about to find out.
What's up?
Well, that's my legitimate question. Is like, what is Belichick's system on offense if it's not coming from the Charlie Weiss tree of guys like Josh McDaniels, who's been there forever? But like, what is his system?
What was the one what are we talking about right now?
Well, what I said was that Belichick is daddy in New England, but not exactly the reason why Dank was talking about Saban. But like when you look at his staff, he let his offensive coordinator go that's been there forever and just didn't replace one. He just said, I'm doing both, and I'm going to bring in as many guys in as it takes to do what I ask.
Joe Judge and Matt Patricia who've never done it before.
Like in what world in the NFL do you just not have an offensive coordinator and your head coach is just doing both?
For real. Moose?
Oof.
You need a minute?
Yeah, I need a minute.
Go back to you. This one I looked at it, and it's not super fair because he hasn't been there for very long, but like I was a believer in this guy, and I was kind of at a time where I'm like, culture and like well-defined cultures is what wins games. It's just like, no, it really doesn't. Like hashtags have never won a game and like all this stuff. Kirby Smart is Jeff Collins' daddy. the coach at Georgia Tech, and I was a believer in him, but he's like 9-25, and it's like 3 years there. Kirby's obviously 2-0 against them. The scores have been 52-0 or 45-0 and 52-7. So he's outscored him 97-7 in their 2 meetings. And he's just gonna dominate that state. And like they're trying to make it cool, like, oh no, we're Atlanta's team. It's like, no, you're not. Bulldogs run Atlanta as well. Like that's still how that works. Dank? Moose, just jump it. Do you got one, Moose?
I was thinking the world of college football getting back on Chip Kelly. Where it's like Chip Kelly from 2004 until 2012 was the best offensive coach in football.
Yep.
And I think now that he's come back to college football and he's in a spot that's really difficult to win at, like UCLA is a pride program,
right?
But I don't think it's a good program, And
Troy Aikman was a long time ago,
right? And I think I think just the world of college football has caught up to Chip Kelly, where it's like what made you great at Oregon? You had great running backs, and your scheme at the time was so far advanced from everyone that you were able to really make things happen. And I think now I think it's like the world of college football has come back down on Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
And it's like, I remember 2 years ago, I think I said it to all you guys, I was like, I'm going to get on the Chip Kelly train. Like, I think Chip is going to do it at UCLA. And he's done nothing to show that he's got any of the magic that he had at Oregon. So,
dude, I was hard.
I think he's had signs. Like, there's some games you watch and he's like, shit, like, they look pretty freaking
After
good.
week 2 or 3, I put them in the playoffs this year. I watched them. UCLA is phenomenal. But it's one of the best things I think you've ever said, Moose, and I hate giving you credit for anything because I hate you, but in so many ways. No, I'm kidding. I tell people all the time, it's like, yeah, he's one of my best friends. I hate everything about him, but he's one of my best friends. But you said it was during Oregon's run, or maybe it was a little bit after their run. I think he might have just left. He's like, the things that made Oregon cool were very easy to replicate.
Yep.
The different uniforms is the first thing. Okay, now everybody has different uniforms, except for up tempo. That's easy to replicate. This spreads to go out and recruit 5 receivers who can all run. That's easy to replicate where you can't. Everyone's trying to do what Bama does, but no one can. You can't just line up and play like Bama does. So they're very, very easy to copy what they do. So I think when he left for the NFL, college football caught up to him. And it was funny because, I remember his first game with the Eagles. They're going off on how many plays he ran, and they scored a bunch of points. And they're like, "Oh, how does this up tempo stuff?" He goes, "Up tempo." He's like, "I thought we were slow." And I think all of us who were college football guys watching the Eagles were like, they were slow compared to the warp speed that Oregon was playing at. No, they huddled 3 times tonight. What are you talking about? This is slow as shit. But go ahead.
Me?
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the college football playoffs are the daddy to Notre Dame.
Ooh.
Because as soon as Notre Dame gets in there, it doesn't matter who it is.
Sacrificial lamb.
Smacked up every time, it pisses me off. I can't stand them. I don't think they should ever be allowed to go to the college football playoffs ever again.
The thing that always bothers me about Notre Dame and like Notre Dame fan is like they've always had this like smugness around them that they think they're in between college and the NFL. Like we're not an NFL team, but like we're kind of like in terms of like we're Notre Dame. We're not joining a conference. Like this is awesome. Obviously they got a huge fan base and all that stuff. But
all right,
I was a big Marcus Freeman guy because he played Ohio State, but he's been talking a lot of shit about Ohio State, and they're opening up with him week 1. So come on home, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
We'll show you the boot. But yeah, agreed. Anything else on that day?
No, I don't like Notre Dame.
Quick.
I got Marshawn against the entire NFL. I mean, every minute, whether he was playing or he was doing something on the sideline,
eating Skittles,
talking at the media, like he just owned everyone. And you could tell Roger Goodell, for like a stint of like 4 years, had to cringe every Sunday because of how good he was and just how little fucks he cared about anything. Just didn't care about anything. But just took it to everyone.
Those
and he
two
told you like
yeah.
Every single time. He didn't miss one play. Like
those two Beastquake runs, because he had another one in Arizona that was like just as good. Were just so cool. It was like those are moments we'll never forget. Good one, Kui. I like it. Entire NFL is tough to daddy, but I guess he did it.
He kind of did it, yeah.
Go ahead, Moose.
Oof. You gotta come back to me on this one.
Okay. All this preparation that Moose does. My next one.
I've slept a great.
Here we go.
Yeah. It's Father's Day. You should have slept till fucking 2 o'clock today if you wanted to.
I don't get any sleep, but it's so
I'm the first guy to have a kid.
I'm the only dad in America. Oh my god.
I'm the only guy with a kid in the podcast.
Hey, I did make it to a lineman challenge yesterday that our team won.
Yeah, I saw that. That's sick shit. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, Frank didn't get there.
No, he didn't?
No, he did not.
Oh, that was a big source of controversy that he had to go.
Yeah.
Yikes. Maybe we'll get him a school A. Mine was Tom Brady over Peyton Manning. There you go, Kui.
Yep.
That's on my list.
Now it's tight.
Like a tiger?
Kind of. I mean, Brady was 11-6 against Manning, and the last couple, I think 6-5. I think 6-5 went to Peyton or something like that, like the last 11. But it's not even so much as the head-to-head deal for me, as in what Tom is doing now to Peyton's legacy. It's like every year that Tom goes out and plays, like, Peyton was okay, I guess. Like, as he keeps playing. Peyton Manning stopped playing at 39. Tom is 44. Like, and Tom is still a championship-level quarterback. If the Bucs win the Super Bowl, no one's surprised. And when Peyton played in that last Super Bowl, I mean, he was along for the ride. Like, he couldn't throw the ball. Like, he was dead. So, in terms – and, like, you know, if Peyton had played, like, just 5 years earlier, I wouldn't be thinking, but those two are always going to be compared to each other. And I just feel like Tom is putting him in the rearview mirror now in terms of that. So, like I said, it's not even about the head-to-head with me that Tom has won. It's like just the legacy and looking back at it like, no, Tom Brady's that dude. Cool.
Yeah.
Yes, we
agree. Good stuff, guys. Jesus Christ.
We agree.
I'm watching Moose try to brainstorm right now. And I'm watching him hit roadblocks.
Listen,
30 seconds.
I said before, podcasting, baby, it's building a plane while you're flying. Like Michael Scott says, sometimes I start a sentence, I don't know when I'm ending it. Like you just, guys, just start talking and figure out how you're going.
Well, I will say, because I am a firm Peyton Manning believer, I think that Peyton Manning did more for the progression of offense, and that's really his legacy, is the progression of offense from the quarterback position to the coordinator position than any football player that's ever played. Like,
no, and I get
he made it to the point where, like, we all are at now, where it's like, if your quarterback is not on 100% the same level as your play caller, like, you're not going to win.
Right.
Times, like the Green Bay Packers with Brett Favre, or other guys, where you could be a really good player, but at the end of the day, if you're not totally dialed in with the guy that's calling plays, it doesn't matter. I think that's where, like, Peyton Manning, I still can't give.
Yeah, but I guess my point being is, like, Peyton's clearly number 2 now. It was a debate their entire career. Peyton's number 2. All right, speed round. Dank.
So Detroit Lions, you pretty much have 2 daddies. It's Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, because you wouldn't even be known if it wasn't for them. So,
and they did them both dirty. Queen,
I'm gonna give you a nice pat on the back, Patty.
Ooh.
You ready?
Yeah.
We're going to go back to Miami, Ohio State.
Yeah.
In the national championship.
Yeah.
As Miami takes a pick down the sideline, fumbles, and I have to watch Ohio State pick it up and run it and then win the game. So Ohio State has a little daddy over Quee, and I haven't been able to shake that.
We'll take it. Moose, you got the last one?
Yeah, Jerry Jones, because I hate him. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones as a family have ruined the big...
Jerry Jones is Stephen Jones' daddy.
Yeah, literally.
Oh, shit.
They have ruined the largest franchise in the world, point where they actually own us as Cowboys fans, where, like, we just want a consistently playoff caliber team, and they won't do it. They're gonna allow themselves to make money enough so that they don't care about us. But they'll give us just enough so that we get a competitive team every single year, but we're not, because we're the Dallas Cowboys, we have too much pride to just break it down and rebuild the roster.
Didn't you just say that's what you guys were going to do?
Yeah, I did. But who knows?
All right, my last one real quick is the pick route. against Thanksgiving Day rivals. I think we haven't lost one since 2011 between the four of us, or 2010. I know I haven't. I
haven't.
So since 2011, and I'm going to jinx myself here. I also have not been scored on Thanksgiving since the first half of 2018. Shut them out in the second half of 2018. Shut out in 2019. 2020 canceled, and then we had a shutout in 2021. So, ready to get out of here?
Yeah.
All right, bring it up. Take a knee. Thank you for listening. Thank you to our good friend Savino for the use of our theme song, Time is Money. You can find him on Instagram at Savino_music. Look up Savino. That is Savino. Thank you to Sarah Wine for the creation of our logo. Thank you to our producer, Brian Miller. Follow us on social media at The Pick Route across all channels. That's Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at The Pick Route. You can email us game ideas at thepicroute@gmail.com. New episodes every Tuesday. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm going on another podcast tonight called The Talon Mix. It's run by our producer, Brian Miller, so check that out. And until next week, remember, it could be worse. You could be playing for us.
Get it back, wasting all your good years living in the past. We only got this one life, get it on track. Money on my mind, all I think about is cash. I tell her swallow deep, cause I like it like that. I got that magic breaker backboard, don't get like Shaq. Paul strapped the bombs like Iraq. Fuck your feelings, show me facts. If we ain't talking stacks, I don't got time for that.